keep waiting for some new voice to come out of somewhere and just say, hey, wait a second, what is wrong with this picture? Just take a look around.
Yeah, I gotta talk about Erin Moriarty very quickly, who plays Annie Starbright in The Boys. And it was brought to my attention last week in my review from somebody who talked about the way she looks in this series. She's definitely had some jobs done to her, like her mouth is fuller, her skin looks different. Whatever happened to the Miss Moriarty who was in Bloodfather with Mel Gibson, eh? And what about season 1 where she just looked like a natural born beauty? You really believed in her character. Now we're in season 3, it's like, uh-oh, she's taking a walk to Beverly Hills 90210. I gotta say, season 1 of The Boys, lightning in a bottle. Season 2, not bad. It did drag a little bit, but season 3... yikes, I don't know what's happened to this once great show. Obviously, in last week's video, which by the way, a week later, it's at 1,700 plus views. Insane. I never thought it would get this much traction, but I'm glad the conversation on that video is still going. Is it going to keep on going for this video? Well, who knows? So I'm just going to break it down to you what I hated, what I thought was cringe, what I thought was okay, and the underlying messages that we get throughout. Now, this particular episode was written by a female. I don't know what her credentials are. The reason why I highlight her sex is because we've got this prevailing theme of woman protecting the man. You get what's happening here, right? It's the role reversal. It had to happen eventually, and frankly, I just found it wearisome. You didn't need to have it, just like you didn't have to have BLM or SJW nonsense in this episode again. So when I talk about the SJW nonsense, there is a advert that they're filming with A-Train, and it's him and a bunch of SJWs who confront the riot police. The riot police, conveniently, all Caucasian. I know this is the American police force, and it's one of the most diverse police forces in the world. So why is it a lineup of hostile Caucasian riot police? That was a little bit weird to me, a little bit on the nose. It's like Amber, the assistant in Vought, who tells A-Train earlier on that she's a big BLM supporter, that she has Instagram posts with black squares in all of them. And I get it. I understand they're taking the mickey out of A-Train and the whole BLM movement. I get it. Does it work? I don't think so. Does it need to be in a superhero show like this? Absolutely not. That's what I'm kind of sick and tired of seeing at the moment. Is it hard to ask just to watch a piece of entertainment where you don't get bombarded with real world messaging? Do you see what I mean? It's just not the done thing. Again, the SJWs, they're over the top, they're wearing bright colors, they look a certain way, and yes, in real life that is also the case. But again, why do we have it in a superhero show like The Boys, which is meant to subvert all the tropes? It was just really, really strange, and I don't know how much more of this I can actually take. I do like Anthony Starr's continuously unhinged performance as Homelander. He really, really cracks me up. Absolutely, he does.
Is your idiot brain getting fucked by stupid?
Vicky Newman, I thought she was actually a lot better written in this episode than in the previous ones. Somebody highlighted in my video last week that when she talked about, oh, you should trust strong women, or you should, never be afraid to take advice from a strong woman. Now, if you'd never seen the previous seasons of The Boys, and that was the first thing you saw going into this third season, wouldn't you think that was a really cringe moment? Don't tell me you wouldn't, because you would. So she was a better written character in this episode, except for the fact that she does a bit of smothering, and I'm just wondering where that's going. Big elephant in the room here, by the way, and I'm going to talk about it because they go to Russia, and Kamiko, and by the way, I will talk about her in the end, because for me, she was a definite highlight. They have to go and take out this baddie. Now, the first impression I got, and again, this is written by a woman called Meredith. When we see this bad guy, the first thought that crossed my mind, it's Harvey Weinstein. It's the whole Me Too echo chamber. Yet again, I think that's a prevailing theme in this series. It's going to be like it's the Me Too. You've got Homelander interrogating and terrorizing Annie Starlight because, again, the whole Me Too, I've got to control you aspect. It's really, I think for me, this is weakening the show. What the boys started out with in season 1, it has definitely lost its way in season 3. I know a lot of you might disagree with my thoughts, but rather than being one of these crazy shill-like idiots on YouTube who go, oh, the boys is wonderful, oh, it can't do any wrong, I'm just here to tell you there are things here that really bother me about this season so far. And okay, the highlight for me, or one of the other highlights, Huey and Billy Butcher redeveloping their bond again. Yeah, so Huey catches Billy in the act of becoming a drug addict. He likes to he likes to get pumped up and get the laser eyes out and kill people and call him the C word. But then, like, when he discovers this, Billy threatens to put him in a coma if he tells the rest of the gang. Except that Huey takes some of the V and that threat just goes out of the window. So that was a little bit weird and jarring because you could have built up to something and then suddenly it has went by the wayside. But let's talk about Karen Fukuhara very quickly. Oh, wow, she was poisoned in the right way. I mean, this woman, when she steps out of the van, she is looking, fantastic.
It's dehumanizing and it's weird. Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you.
And no, Frosk, I still disagree with that point of view. You got that, you buck-toothed beaver? But Karen Fukuhara was probably the third best performer in this episode. Holy hell, that slinky silver dress was barely holding on to a sexy frame, and she did some serious damage with some toys, shall we say. I liked the way that whole scene played out between her and the other terrified women. It was actually a really good moment in this episode. Probably the only redeeming thing about this episode. Finally, we get to see Jensen Ackles kind of as Soldier Boy. Now, remember at the beginning of this video, I talked about the whole messaging aspect, the whole BLM thing. Supernatural, to his credit, never embraced real life SJW political messaging into its series. In fact, if you watch the first season of Supernatural, we find out that Dean Winchester, played by Ackles, dated an African American woman. Was there a big deal made about it? No.
Oh, there is just one more thing, Lieutenant.
Yeah, so just wanted to talk about A-Train and this personal vendetta he's got against Blue Hawk. Yeah, we know the whole reasoning for that now because A-Train was about to go to Africa to discover himself. Yes, cue the eye rolling from yours truly yet again. And the thing with this, it's kind of in tandem with the ratings for Homelander. You know, last week he had that pretty crazy speech on the podium and then he scored so many points with his certain Caucasian fans. And now A-Train is doing the exact thing. He wants to up the black community status by taking out Blue Hawk. Again, you could have just had a bad guy in the neighborhood terrorizing it. You send someone to put that bad guy down or maybe to put him in jail. And it looks like from the sound of it that A-Train just wants to go and kill Blue Hawk. So in the end, he's not going to be any better than that character. He'll just be the same as him. He'll just become the Avenger or the Punisher, whatever you want to call him. So for me, that storyline, that aspect at the moment, I'm just finding it very irksome. We've seen it all before. We don't need to watch it again. If you want to watch a race-on-race crime, maybe watch Mississippi Burning with Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe and directed by Alan Parker. That's a really, really good film, actually. So on that one, folks, this is a quick overview again of The Boys Season 3, Episode 4. I think the lightning in the bottle moment, we won't get it again, unfortunately. That is long gone. That is 2019. This is 2022, folks. And I gotta keep saying, it might get worse by the time we get to the finishing line. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this quick video today, make sure you do a Billy Butcher laser eye on that subscribe button. You clench your fist, you little wanker, and you hit that like button just like that. Ugh. And on that one, folks, if you were me, I might see you on my next video.
I would love for it to be after I'm dead.